Hey, 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 it is an unstoppable day. It's your boy, Terrence, the unstoppable Coach Leffridge, with another unstoppable thought. And we are in our special segment this month, Gratitude, a 30-day video challenge, where we talk about gratitude, hoping that you will see that if you focus more
Yes, I
on
can't
what
hear
you're
you. What
able to
happened?
do and less on what's stopping you, then you too can be unstoppable because you will be working in an attitude of gratitude. We've got a special guest with us today, Nita Beshear, and she runs the blog and the Facebook page called Adventures in Widowland. Nita, can you hear us? Mic check, mic check. Nita, can you hear us?
I can't hear you.
Okay, so we may be having some technical
Let's
difficulties
see if
with
I can.
Nita. Let's try this. Let's see if we can have her come back out and go back in. Because everything looks like it's working in my
It
end.
says everyone can see and hear me, but I can't see. I can't hear anyone.
So we can hear her fine, but something must be happening on her end. So I'm just going to private chat her, telling that we can hear her and to just have her tell her story.
Hmm.
Technical difficulties happen all the time. So while we're waiting for her to come back and pop back in, again, let's talk a little bit more about why we're doing this. This is a 30-day video challenge. It's simply about gratitude. And gratitude is simply what are you thankful for? And it is showing thankfulness and gratefulness for the things you may have, or the things you may be doing, or the things that may be coming up in your life. And we do this so that people can focus more on what they're grateful for. Okay, let's see if we can get her back. Mic check, mic check. Nita, can you hear us?
I think so. I can hear you. Can you hear me now still?
Yes,
Okay.
we were hearing you all the way through. So
Here you go. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong.
hey, with the unstoppable thoughts, the word unstoppable is there for a reason. Because
That's
each
right.
and every time we attempt to show the world something different, the world tries to stop us. And that just gives us another opportunity to show that we can't be stopped when we work from an attitude of gratitude.
You
So,
just find another way to get in. That's what you do.
absolutely. So, Nita, why don't you just give our audience a second, tell them who you are and a little bit about your Facebook page and your blog.
Okay. Well, my Facebook page is Adventures in Widowhood on Facebook. And it is a place for widows to gather and learn things. And it's not necessarily a therapy or counseling group, it's more of a support. And I post different videos there, I post inspirational thoughts, I post things that will help widows. I can't think of the word I want right now, but practical, there you go, practical things that they can use in their life, things that people don't necessarily think about maybe as a widow. And my blog was pretty much the same thing. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep the blog or not, but the name of it is also Adventures in Widowhood. And the reason I do Adventures in Widowhood is because I'm a widow. My husband died 14 years ago, and I was very lost for a while. And then I began finding my way, and other widows would say, "Oh, how did you do that? How did you do that? How did you do that?" So I just started sharing some of my tips that I have learned along the path and trying to help other widows to enjoy life and embrace the adventure. It's why I call it adventures, because life is an adventure. And to embrace the adventures of life now and not to just exist. So
I
that's a
love
little bit, yeah.
I love it. Well, that's the most important part. And sorry for your loss, and we can continue to say that even though it has been
Oh
14
yeah.
years, the grieving for some people, it never ends. But I love how you've been able to take it and turn a negative into a positive, and you look at it as an adventure. Because here's the one thing I know about adventures: no matter how long the adventure may be, there may be people that are in your adventure for a moment. There may be
Hmm.
people who are in your adventure for a season. And then there may be those people that follow you throughout your adventure for a lifetime. But the
True.
point is, in our adventures, we have to face the reality that sometimes the people who started the adventure with us aren't the people who end the adventure with us. Do you find that to be the case?
That is very much the case, and it's so true. And everything is an adventure. This broadcast that you're doing is an adventure, and it was an adventure getting me on here, apparently. But yeah, well, it's just like life. If you think about it, when you were a young boy, there were people in your life who are no longer in your life
Yes.
now. Either you moved away, or they moved away, or you just grew up and grew apart. But it doesn't make their impact when you were young any less important. And then, yes, there will be people that will be along the way, all the way until the end, and they will be the ones that support you. And sometimes they're not the ones that support you. Sometimes they're the ones that sort of kick you in the rear because they tell you you can't do it. And you think, yeah, I'll show you. So either way, I mean, but they're there. They don't know they're supporting you sometimes. But yes, you will have, and then you will have people that, like I said, you will either outgrow, or they will outgrow you, or geographically you will just move apart. And I know with technology we can stay in touch, but there's still a lot of times geography separates people.
Yes, absolutely. On your welcome page for your blog, you talk about how life being an adventure, and you use the old tale that at the end of the rainbow there's a pot of gold. And for
Mm-hmm.
many of us, that's what an adventure, we hope the adventure turns out to be. It brings us that pot of gold. But you look at it and you say that really, that's not true. But along our adventures, we always find that there are diamonds along the way.
Yes.
Diamonds being you, diamonds being the diamonds that are placed in your life as you continue the adventure. So,
Yeah.
as we talk about this season of gratitude, tell us what you're grateful, how, why you're grateful for the diamonds that have been placed in your life, even after your husband passed away.
Why I'm grateful, because the diamonds keep me going. It's the small pleasures, the big pleasures in life that keep me going. If you didn't have the good things, what would be the point in going through the bad things? And I do I do a gratitude journal or a gratitude list every day. It's something I've been doing for a long time. And it helps when you think, for me, maybe not anyone else, but for me, when I take time to think about things that I'm grateful for, it makes the not so good times not so bad. Here in Oklahoma, we just had a nice storm.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was lucky in that I was on the edge of it, which meant I didn't get very much of it. I got the rain, I got a little bit of the sleet, but not much more. There were no trees that were knocked down in my yard. There were no power lines that went down in my yard. Although there, in fact, I think it hit Monday, and I think there are still people in the Oklahoma City Stillwater area, which that's a really huge area, that are without electricity.
Wow.
So, yeah, if I wasn't great, if I hadn't, for me, when if it had hit me, if it had come all the way to where I live, I would have been being grateful for the fact that I have a house and the fact that I have propane. So, electricity or no electricity, I'm going to eat because I like to eat, and and I would have heat, so I would be warm. So, yeah, I find that the gratitude helps to overcome any of the obstacles that life wants to throw at us. And life likes throwing obstacles.
Absolutely. They definitely do. And you know what? I think if we were to sum up your gratitude story, it's being grateful for the things that we sometimes take for granted. we
Very
take for
much.
granted
Yeah.
we take for granted the things that happen in our everyday life, those everyday adventures. We take for granted things like propane and electricity and a house with a roof. And it's only until these major things happen in our lives that we tend to look at those things that have always been there, but
Hmm.
because they've always been there, we take them for granted. And that's another reason why we're doing this 30-day video challenge, to get people to start focusing on the things that they take for granted. To stop focusing on the things that they may not have right now and start focusing on the things that they do,
They
and
do
start
have.
focusing
Yeah.
on the things that will always be there, even when we take them for granted. And I
Exactly.
really, I told you off camera that I am grateful to you just because of your name, Nita, because it's another opportunity for me to reflect on Anita that was dear to my heart, which was my sister, who just happened to have her, who passed away last year, but this is her birthday month. So
Mm.
talking to you feels like on a global spiritual sense that I have the opportunity to talk to my sister again. So I'm grateful for you coming out of the blue, because we didn't know each other except for this
No.
social media space. But I'm thankful that you volunteered to step up and share your gratitude story. Talk to us a little bit about your husband, and talk to us about the adventures that you've been going through. But now I want to give you the opportunity to tell people about your Facebook page a little bit more, Adventures in Widowhood, and how they can get in contact with you if they want to share their widowhood story, or if they want to get some of the tips and tools and tricks that you've used to continue to find the diamonds in your ongoing adventure. So
Well,
how can they
thank you.
reach out to you?
I appreciate you. You know, if you want to do it, come and do it. Contact me. So just contact me is to either go to Facebook Adventure and or me on at Nita Adventures Neighborhood. I was sleepy when I made that email and forgot the N, so it's of at and on the Facebook page, I am also doing a challenge, which was why this just really my heart. A 20-day challenge, and it starts Sunday, November 1st. And the idea behind it is it's it's being for the everyday things we have, but being grateful for the things we have because of the person we lost. The or it's another tragedy if you lost your job. What do you have that was either a result of having that job or a result of losing that job? I started it several years ago and taking things, people, places, events I have as a result of knowing, loving, and being married to my husband. And yes, some of them I would have anyway. Like I would have a house or an apartment or someplace to live, but I wouldn't have this house. I wouldn't have these 30 acres. I wouldn't have them. So I'm grateful for this house, not a house, but and I would go. You were going to want to be grateful for their loved one or their tragedy.
Well, we are definitely
Okay.
grateful to you for coming on and spending a little bit of time with us here at Unstoppable Thoughts with Coach Terrence. This is Nita Beshear. Go check her out on her Facebook page called Adventures in Widowhood. And trust me, if you are on your own adventure, then Nita is someone that you want to connect with. And that's it for today for our episode of Gratitude, a 30-day video challenge. Now, hey, if you want to be a guest on the show just like Nita, then you know what you need to do. You can reach out to us. You can email me at tleffridge@unstoppablecoaching.com, or you can reach out to me on our website at unstoppablecoaching.com/contact. Whether you email me or you hit our contact page, just put in the subject line, I want to be a guest on the Gratitude Story. Okay. And we will reach out to you, and hey, you may be one of our guests on the Gratitude 30-day video challenge. And as always, wherever you are in the world today, you know what I say. Don't just make it a great day. Go out and share your gratitude story, and remember to make it an unstoppable day. Take care.